From ancient ruins to the best Greek food, this is how I kicked off my Mediterranean cruise. After getting off of a 10-hour flight, I landed in the ancient city of Athens, Greece for my Virgin Voyages Mediterranean cruise. I had booked a private transfer to the hotel through Viator, but they do have Uber taxis. Now, this drive was about 30 minutes, and our driver dropped us off right at the hotel. We arrived pretty early, so we had to wait about an hour before checking into the room. But after settling in, it was time to explore. My first stop was a local Mediterranean spot about a 10-minute walk away. It was really nice trying authentic Greek food, as you can see, for the first time. Honestly, everything tasted great. Now let's fast forward to after debarking our cruise. You can check out my Virgin Voyages cruise playlist to view how all that went. But before heading back to the US, we had a day to explore Athens, see the Parthenon, Acropolis, and the Acropolis Museum. But first, we got some food at Peter Pan, which was very good, and then we headed to our meeting point for our tour. The first stop of the tour was the Acropolis Museum. It's modern, bright, and designed to bring ancient history to life. The museum is actually built over ancient ruins. You walk across glass floors and can look straight down at the excavations beneath your feet.
This is the new museum of the Acropolis, and it has been built on top of an ancient excavation. So under this layer, under this floor, there used to be people living here from houses against some.
A few quick tips if you're planning to visit. One, the tickets for the Acropolis Museum are usually around 10 to 15 euros, depending on the season, and kids get in free. You can get a combined ticket that includes both the Acropolis and other ancient sites in Athens, which saves you money if you're seeing more than one spot. Number three, if you want to avoid crowds, try visiting early in the morning or closer to the evening. Midday gets packed, especially in the summer. And last, don't skip the cafe upstairs. It has one of the best views of the Acropolis in the city. But we did book it through a website where we got both of these like a private tour. So you can obviously go in this museum by yourself and explore, but I like it better with someone like explaining everything that's in the museum. So that's what we did. Inside the Acropolis Museum, every floor feels like you're walking deeper into history. The first gallery showcased everyday objects like pottery, tools, and sculptures, things people actually used thousands of years ago, which makes the history feel so much more real. And as you move up, the statues get larger, the carvings more detailed, and you start to realize just how advanced Athens was in its golden age. And then there are the caryatids, the six famous female figures that once supported the porch of the Erysion temple on the Acropolis. What makes them so special is that instead of plain columns, the ancient Athenians sculpted these women to hold up the structure themselves. Each one is unique. Their hairstyles, their stance, the way the folds on their dresses fall, no two caryatids are exactly alike. Here in the Acropolis Museum, you can see 5 of the originals. The 6th was taken to London in the early 1800s and is displayed in the British Museum. Standing in front of these 5, though, is breathtaking. The level of detail is unreal. Their robes are carved so finely that you can almost imagine the fabric moving, and their braids fall heavily down their back, acting almost like extra support for the column. Up on the Acropolis, the caryatids you see are replicas, carefully placed to protect the originals from further weathering and pollution. But in the museum, you can really study them up close. The crown jewel of the Acropolis Museum has to be the Parthenon Gallery on the top floor. As soon as you step in, it feels like you've been transported back in time. The entire gallery is designed to mirror the Parthenon itself. So the columns, the marbles, the friezes, all arranged exactly as they would have been on the temple centuries ago. It's incredible to think that these pieces were carved over 2,400 years ago and still remain so much of their detail. The museum's designers were genius in how they paired the artifacts with the view outside. The floor-to-ceiling windows perfectly frame the real Parthenon on the Acropolis Hill, so you can compare the originals inside to the temple that has stood above Athens for thousands of years. Looking at the Parthenon outside while surrounded by the original marbles inside gives you a sense of continuity, a bridge between the ancient world and the present. After leaving the museum, we headed back to the meeting point to pick up more people that were joining us for the Acropolis Hill part of the tour. While we waited, we decided to try the authentic Greek yogurt spot right there. They not only had yogurt, but they had yogurt smoothies on the menu. I just decided to build my own yogurt from scratch, adding different toppings to add some flavor. It was a nice sweet treat before heading back outside. As I made my way up the hill, every step brings more history into view. You pass ruins, columns, and fragments of temples, each one with its own story. What you see here is the Theater of Dionysus, considered the world's first theater where ancient Greeks first performed tragedies and comedies. If you want to visit, I would definitely try to go in the later evening time. The sun was kind of almost setting, so it was definitely cooler. It was still hot, and so I would recommend having water, of course, wearing sunscreen, and wearing very comfortable shoes because you're on like uneven pavement and it's a steep uphill. But overall, I think the view is worth it in the end, and just being able to say you've been here to see everything and to just take it all in is really nice. Right next to it is the Odeon of Herodes Atticus, which is a stone theater that's still used for performances today. When we were visiting, there was actually a group that was performing or practicing for their performance, so you can hear their sound check, and that was pretty cool. The views from the hill are breathtaking. You can see the whole city of Athens unfolding below. Rooftops, churches, the Mediterranean Sea in the distance, while ancient sites like the theaters and temples surround you. It's a moment where history and modern life exist side by side. Now, this is the part where it was very crowded. Going up the hill, it wasn't too crowded, but as you got up here, there were many tour groups, so you just had to stay with your group as close as possible so you can hear the tour guide, speaking and explaining everything. But boy, once you get up there, it's just so nice and very nice to just experience. But now you've reached the Parthenon, the crowning jewel of the Acropolis. Standing here, you can really appreciate its scale and precision. And just off to the side is the Eretion, famous for its caryatids, the female-shaped columns I mentioned earlier that you saw in the museum. Exploring the Acropolis isn't just sightseeing, it's stepping into thousands of years of history. Every ruin, every column, and every view tells a story of a civilization that shaped art, theater, philosophy, and culture for the world. It's a walk you'll never forget. As I make my way back through the streets of Athens, it's nice to slow down and take it all in one last time. The city feels alive. Narrow streets, color-filled buildings, little shops tucked around every corner, and the sounds of daily life all around. It's a reminder that Athens isn't just ancient ruins, it's a city full of people, culture, and moments happening right now. Walking back to where we started the tour, I can't help but feel grateful for the chance to experience both the history and the energy of this incredible city. I hope this video was not only informational, but that it inspires you to visit Athens, Greece, and experience it all in person for yourself.